Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
Did you know we have another station? More Buckeyes, more play-by-play, more everything.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2 or listen on the Fan app.
Your home for almost too much football. The Fan.
Come November, I'll need an ACA health insurance plan. And thanks to HealthMarkets, searching for a plan can be easier. When you go to healthmarkets.com, you can find a licensed insurance agent right in your area. They'll even take you through the plans in person. And their help doesn't cost you anything. That's what I like.
Discover the advantages of real personalized service today at healthmarkets.com. HealthMarkets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts. Sales agents may be compensated based on a consumer's enrollment in an insurance plan. No obligation to enroll. Paid after per trail.
With surgery and drugs being the main options to treat chronic joint pain, that left orthopedic surgeons like Dr. Ray Tessner thinking,
geez, wouldn't it be nice if we can have another form of treatment that eliminates some of the downside and has a bigger upside as we learn more about it?
And then he found it. Regenerative medicine, an exciting, fast-growing approach to dealing with pain using healing agents from your own body.
Well, it's using the miracle benefits of the human body to help encourage healing.
Today, you'll find Dr. Tessner at QC Kinetix, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving patients lasting relief from joint pain in their knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
It's one of the best management tools that has come around in a long time.
Finally, options other than surgery and steroids. All natural regenerative treatments at QC Kinetix. Learn more. Call today for your free consultation.
Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you? All right, here's what's up on a Monday edition of the program. Buckeyes improved to 6-1 heading to State College this week. We talked about some of the things that are concerning, and I do think the two lines of scrimmage are obviously 1 and 1A in terms of things to be concerned about. The defense did flip it. Ryan Day quick to praise his defense for its effort against Nebraska.
I thought that they won the game, and that's the most important thing, and something we talked about a lot in the bye week is, you can look at numbers, you can look at this, you can look at that, score, how many points they give up, all these different things, but at the end of the day, you got to go win the game, and not always going to get every call. Just things are going to happen in the game, and you got to overcome them. You got to leave no doubt. I thought that, of all the things that happened today, was the thing that we'll take out of it the best.
Did you guys see on the video did you see the Arvell Reese? Obviously, you've seen the Arvell Reese target, which I don't know he hit him with his shoulder. I don't know what he's supposed to do.
I don't either. The guy went down he just
He did. There was no helmet.
It's out of line. They talking about because it was in the head and neck area, but like the guy was curling, going down. Like what are you supposed to do? Like I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. It's a terrible call.
On that play, after they make the decision that it is targeting and they announce it, Ryan loses his mind.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Now, did you see what else happened?
About him throwing the headset and all that?
No. One of the officials threw the flag.
Yeah, he threw the flag, and they gave him a sideline warning. But it should have been a 15-yard penalty on Ryan.
On us.
Yeah.
So, like, all of a sudden, that ball would have been at the 35.
Yeah, and then we'd be talking something different.
Right? Instead, it went to the 50, and that was it. So that was very, very fortunate. That was an awful call. Awful call. From a positive standpoint, Threes' linebackers are flying.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny's flying. Cody was unbelievable in this game. Those guys are humming.
Yeah.
I thought the secondary rebounded nicely.
Yeah, I thought they made some plays on the ball. Linebackers, though, I thought Cody Simon in that crunch time, that last drive, he sniffed out them two screens like it was money. I was like, yeah, they locked in. Like, Threes got them boys locked, which I knew that. Like, we knew that.
Of course.
We knew the linebackers. I told everybody, like, it's almost cheating, the fact that you're about to have this guy be the linebackers coach here. Like, these guys are going to be best in the country. And they see the game at a high level. They react to things at a high level. They tackle at a high level. Like, the linebackers is really, like, the strong point of the defense right now.
Secondary was your forte.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to see more out of? You and I were talking off air about Caleb, and on the one touchdown Nebraska got, he is a half step from getting to Raiola, and they threw it right where he came from.
Yeah.
They threw it right where he came from.
I mean, that's a good throw by Raiola.
Because
he's
impressive.
Well, the one thing is they think they did it earlier. He didn't get it out, but this time he knew, he read the blitz was coming, so he got the ball out, and they ran that nice little pick. I can't stand that stuff. It bothers me so much that they do that pick stuff, but whatever.
Yeah.
They got to work on that in the secondary. If these guys is close, like, you got to in and out that thing, or some guy got to press, some guy got to be off, because you can't let them rub routes like that. As far as Caleb goes, listen, when we watched him at Alabama, this was the guy, he led the team in tackles because this guy was just all over the field. And I think you got to start utilizing him to his strengths. Like, don't get me wrong. He's a solid piece back there, and you trying to get him involved, but he's just not jumping off the page like he was in Alabama. Like, I don't know what more they need to do. I know they're trying to get him involved in the blitzes.
They had him returning punts Saturday.
I get all
to, like, give him I felt like an olive branch.
But, like, to me, like, don't get me wrong, he's solid. It's a solid thing, but what you hit the expectation for what you thought he was going to do in this defense with these guys to what the reality is it's not meeting, and they got to figure out something on that front, because I think you can't just waste a guy like that good like that. Like, you got to get him more involved in a way. And like I said, I like the fact that they sending him on blitz. I think he's good in protection. He made a really good open field tackle for a TFL when they got down there, and I was like, okay, there it is. But it's still not. It's not the game changing plays like I thought it would be.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. I think there's a lot of, when you think about, best team money can buy, like all of those narratives that were out there in the lead up to this season. And by the way, there's 15 programs who spent what Ohio State spent on their roster.
Yeah.
It's not just one, there's 15 of them.
I still think about Florida State. I'd ask for my money back.
Well, that's real. That's very real, that part of it.
Booster in Florida State, I want my money back.
Yeah. I think that where we are with this team right now is they are not as good as most people thought they would be at this juncture. Doesn't mean they can't get there, but they have some things that obviously need to be sorted out quickly, predominantly on the two lines of scrimmage. But they're also not nearly as bad as people sometimes think. You're still really, really good and can do a lot of things. And I think offensively, one thing that's a bit of a pivot is it feels to me like this is becoming a passing football team predominantly. And I thought this would be a lineup and bludgeon you, Will Howard running the ball with those two backs. That's what I thought that this would be. And I thought everything would be set up off of that like it was early in the season. And really what they are at their best is Will throwing it to those receivers. He was 13 of 16. He made the one bad throw where he just misreads it and he just floated it. But other than that, he was really good in the game. He was really good in the Oregon game.
I think that's the team. They want to be the running team, but I think due to the fact when you look at their offensive line and how it's shaken up, you literally lost one of the key pieces on your offensive line, and it's truly dampened the rushing attack. So I think at the end of the day, for the past 3-4 seasons, they've been able to throw the ball against anybody. It's just been their thing. We always knew that, but I always said that if you want to win a championship, you got to run the ball. And I thought getting Quinshawn and having that line have another year together, getting some of the transfers that you got in with Seth and all of that, I thought that, okay, they're going to get that run game going. And up until the Oregon game, it was good. The rushing attack was really good. That 1-2 punch looked unbelievable. Even times in the Oregon game, Travion had some runs in that game where they looked really good. So I was like, that right there, people can't stop it. They can beat you running. They can beat you throwing. Now that they lost that tackle and now that they forced to put the ball in the air like I said, I'm not willing to say that they can't run the ball. I have a respect for Nebraska's rush defense, and I got a respect for Penn State's rush defense as well. That doesn't mean, just because I have a respect for it, doesn't mean that you can completely just not be productive there. That's the part that I got a problem with, because there's other teams that's went in there and have some success with the ball on the ground, and you being at Ohio State, you should be one of those teams that can overcome how great that there might be. So that's the part that bothers me the most, the toughness, the attitude, the willingness. Yes, we down a left tackle, but that's not going to stop us from still being able to run the ball. That part to me is what's scary about the whole thing.
Yeah. 1 of 10 on third down is really scary. 10 carries for 29 yards out of your two backs is really scary when they're that good. That's tough. And the fact that it took a game-winning drive engineered by your quarterback, who damn near did it 2 weeks ago at Oregon, came up a second and a couple of yards short in that one, and maybe a tough call on an offensive pass interference. But he did it in the game on Saturday. Here's Will Howard on the game-winning drive in the fourth.
How well did the defense stand up right now?
They won us the game. 100% they won us the game. Those guys, we don't win that game without our defense and the way they played. They played an unbelievable game today.
Fourth quarter drive, you had to make some plays, and you made them.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that first play was a great play call, running the wheel up the sideline to Carnell. Carnell made a great play, getting some extra yards out of it. Mecca did a great job on that fourth down, just stemming at the guy, getting out and converting that one. And then, the play to Quinshawn, he just kind of did his own thing a little bit and got open, and it was great, man. So it was
snuggled it like a baby.
He did. He sure did. He was making sure he caught that thing, which I love.
Kind of did his own thing. I take note of that. One thing on the play to Carnell on the sideline. This is something I was at the game, so I don't know if they articulated this in the television replay. That happened because Jeremiah Smith was in the slot and ran a go, and he took not only his guy but the safety with him. So there was nobody over there for Carnell.
I bet he did. I mean, he wasn't.
They went with 4.
Wasn't he in the slot when he caught the seam? Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Once you do that,
they were gone. They were turned their heads and gone, and there was nobody around Carnell Tate at all. Man, it was like, where's 4? We're going to know where he is.
Well, it's amazing that he's built that type of reputation. I think he'll keep that for the rest of the year. It was good to see Carnell Tate have that game because he's been the guy that he's done all the dirty work. He does the blocking down the field. He does all the things correct, and people kind of forget about him because of JJ, because of Emeka. But Carnell Tate is really freaking good at football, man. He reminds me a lot of like Terry McLaurin, just one of those guys. I think he's a better Terry McLaurin, but Terry was one of those guys that Terry was one of those guys that did all the dirty work, all the blocking, do the special team stuff, all of that. It just played hard as heck. And now you see him having success on Sundays, and he's ruining my fantasy team. So there you go.
Speaking of success on Sundays, a quick break from the Buckeyes. We'll revisit at 10 o'clock. An emotional, honestly, felt like divine intervention to me up in Cleveland. We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture an oil change that's quick, not rushed. When you hear the bell, feel yourself becoming light as a feather. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today. No automotive worry, no appointment needed.
Football fans, are you ready to score big this NFL season?
Hey, it's T-Bone to tell you that Bud Light and 97.1 The Fan have teamed up for the ultimate football face-off. Join us each week for football face-off events and your chance to win a trip to Vegas where you'll compete for the grand prize.
A trip for two to New Orleans for the Super Bowl.
Drink Bud Light, enjoy the games, and take your shot at football glory.
This week, join me on Sunday at Yogi's Bar and Grill in Dublin. I'll be there from 2 to 4 p.m. watching the Browns take on the Bengals and giving you a shot at the Super Bowl, courtesy of Bud Light.
Breaking gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to Reverse Aesthetics. Our medical weight loss program includes popular medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, both of which are supercharged by our body sculpting treatments. For only $2.99 per month, under the supervision of our board-certified medical doctor, Reverse Aesthetics can help you achieve your weight loss goals while tracking progress quarterly. We have plenty of inventory and can begin treatment within 48 hours of your consult. Schedule now at reverse-aesthetics.com or call us at 614-656-4000.
Dick from Dayton says, listen to the Ryan Day Show. Paul Keels and Jim Lachey join Coach every Thursday from noon to 1.
Presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Fan.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited truck month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
I didn't expect to, but I need to get a new health insurance plan. The good news is I found HealthMarkets. I went to HealthMarkets.com and saw plans available in my area. They have access to more than 200 carriers across the country. And if you need help, you can just speak with a licensed insurance agent. It's all right there for you.
Discover the advantages of real personalized service today at HealthMarkets.com. HealthMarkets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts. Paid actor per trail.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
You could try to convince me that wasn't divine intervention on Sunday. I'm just probably not going to hear it. On Saturday, the Browns lost the longtime voice of the Cleveland Browns, Jim Donovan, succumbed to his battle with cancer, which had been going on for years. And knowing Jim the way that I did, I knew that this was approaching, that he was coming to this part of it, and so it was you kind of knew where he was with it. Got the text on Saturday, still just crippling to do it, and then I thought, my God, they're going to play a game on Sunday. And I thought Jason Gibbs, who's the executive producer on the Browns radio network, Nathan Zagura, who's I've been doing radio with for 7 years now, is a tremendous friend, and Andrew Siciliano, who's been pinch hitting for Jim this year. I thought they were masterful on the Browns radio network, as heard here, right here on the Fan, in paying tribute. You saw the emotion of it all if you've seen the videos going around. Kyle Hamilton dropped a ball that was dropped in. I mean, it's as much, he could have fair caught it.
Yeah.
And he dropped it.
Yeah.
Like, so you doinged a field goal off of a goalpost.
You go in.
I mean, in.
Rashad Bateman wide open.
The other one dinged out.
Yeah.
Bateman wide open.
Dropped to the knees and dropped it. That's just.
Yeah. It was so many
like that
impossible things.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
For folks around here who maybe aren't Browns fans or don't have a decent handle on what Jim Donovan is, I would tell you that it would be like for Central Ohio if Dom was also the voice of the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe it.
Yeah.
If he was not only what he's done at Channel 10 all these years, but also play-by-play on Ohio State. And the only difference, though, is Jim, for many years with the Browns, for most of their first decade and a half, he was the bright spot.
Mm-hmm.
He had to lift the product. He was the excellence. The team was trying to get to his level. And so that's why there was a sense of beloved with him that even superseded anything else, because he was more beloved than most of the players. There was a Marty Brenneman feel to him where he was almost above the operation. And it wasn't until they started having success in the last, 6 or 7 years that it started to flip a little bit, where you had, Miles and Chubb and all these guys that you could be huge fans of. But for the most part, the one constant excellent was Jim Donovan and Joe Thomas. And I love Joe Thomas, but left tackle that's a little different situation. Tyvis, you're a Cleveland native. Reese, you're a longtime Browns fan. How did yesterday feel to you, Reese? Let's start with you.
Well, you have to consider the fact that I might have been on some medication.
Yeah.
It's been a weekend. I found out late Saturday-ish. Again, time not my greatest strength, again, in recollection from the weekend. But I don't know the Cleveland Browns without Jim Donovan. And so this season especially, just knowing, when his cancer came back and how he had to step away from those play calling duties, knowing how this was likely his last football season, or just kind of reading the tea leaves there. And so you think back to all of the times that this team struggled, and how you're absolutely right. When you would listen on the radio, because that's what when the Browns aren't on Channel 10 locally, or when the Browns weren't on Fox or whenever, and there was a lot of time with that when you were young and you go outside to your car and you'd listen, or you'd skip out at church and go and listen to to the Browns in your car. That was the constant. They were so bad on the field at times, but he was so good and he had so much passion. And when they would have incredible moments, that would be what you would recall. You would recall Jim Donovan, just the excitement in his voice and the true passion and the love that he had for that team and for the city and for the years that we've had as a Cleveland Browns fan base. They've actually been really good. It's made even better that he got to enjoy that, or he got to enjoy some of those special moments by some of those special players like Myles Garrett. They're the Nick Chubb cuts that you heard all day Sunday, and then you had how they performed yesterday. You felt, okay, that was for Jim.
Yeah, for me, it was. I got to know Jim personally for the past 3 years. Ever since I started doing pregame and postgame shows, for the Browns radio network, and every time I seen him, I knew about his fight, with cancer and all of those things. And I remember last year where he had to step away, and it was like the cancer came back. And I was like, oh, no. But he never seemed like down about it. Like he always was determined. Like, I'll be back. Like, don't worry, I'll be back.
Yep.
And he came back. Like, obviously, guys filled in. Andrew Siciliano did a wonderful job filling in. Paul Keels filled in. Chris Rose filled in. All of these guys filled in, and then he ended up coming back, I think, towards the last year, the end of the season, I think. He
came back at the end of last year, and then he was back for the start of the preseason.
And it was cool because you got to see him ring the bell. And every time I seen him, after he rang that bell, every time I see how people look up to like Michael Jordan, or how kids look at Myles Garrett, that's how I look at somebody that beat cancer. Because you can look at an athlete like he's the greatest thing in the world, but to me, when you overcome death like that, and you beat it like that to me is bigger than sports. So I always looked at him like that, and we always have fun on Fact or Fiction, a little pregame show we do on the Browns radio network, and I called him my uncle and all of those things, and we had so many laughs on there, and just being behind him in the booth and watching him work, and just the way he called things and his passion. He was just sharp. He did everything just perfectly. Like, you could feel the energy in his calls. He got some of the most legendary calls that even today when you hear him, it still gives you chills. You remember where you were when you heard him make that call. And I was telling everybody, even now, when I watch the Browns play, and it's funny to say this, when I watch the Browns play and say somebody's about to score, or I think of his voice. It's his voice in my head that's narrating what I'm seeing, and I don't think I'll ever get over that. And that's how I always remember Jim, is that I'll always have his voice in my head with the passion and the love that he had for the Cleveland Browns. And Andrew's doing a really good job trying to replace him, but I don't know if you can replace the great Jim Donovan.
No. He's a Boston guy who idolized those legendary play-by-play guys with the Celtics and the Red Sox. And he was a perfectionist in every way when it came to his preparedness to do the job. Like you talk about just the work ethic to be flawless on every given Sunday. I would tell you this, having get to know him over the last 7 years, he's a better guy. He was a better guy than he was a broadcaster, and he will be missed only forever. So that was a special one. The football side of it we'll talk about a little bit later on, but that was a very special day up in Cleveland for them to get that win, as heard right here on The Fan. Coming up next, the shoe. I got an email from a 1980s graduate. Normally do emails on Thursday, but it caught my attention, and something I want to talk about in terms of our experiences as well. We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Erectile dysfunction is a destroyer of your confidence, of your joy and intimacy, and often it can even harm your relationship. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, the leading men's sexual health practice in our area for treating erectile dysfunction. And I want you to know today that if you're like most men, you can be free of ED and all the impacts it has on your life. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're your local provider for dealing with men's sexual health issues. Our expert medical teams are focused on treating ED, and we have highly effective treatment plans with some protocols that work in well over 90% of cases. We can even combine treatments for greater efficacy, all of which means it's very likely you'll be having great sex again within just a day or two of your first appointment. You might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations, just off 270 in Hilliard and near the Medical Mile in Westerville.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change wants to help ease your oil change anxiety with a few moments of automotive peace.
So are you that person? The one who's been buying over-the-counter insoles just to make whatever shoes you wear cushy? Yep, that was me. Hey, it's Anthony. And before I went to the Good Feet store, my back would kill me if I was on my feet for any serious amount of time. I was told about the Good Feet store's 3-step arch support system. Once I tried them in my shoes, I instantly felt more supported, and honestly, my feet felt aligned perfectly for the first time in forever. And they're fit to me personally. And it's not just comfort. My Good Feet store arch supports are designed to balance and strengthen my feet. They've made such a difference in my life. The Good Feet store has helped many people relieve their pain, obviously me included. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Bring in your favorite shoes to the Good Feet store, and they'll personally fit you to ensure your comfort. Go ahead. Take a free test walk today. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I love my Kubota tractor, RTV, and zero-turn I got from Green & Sons, and you can check them out online at greenandsons.com or visit them in store in Mount Sterling or north of Marysville in Raymond for all your Kubota needs.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. For instance, TCU walked into the locker room at halftime in the 2016 Alamo Bowl, down 31-0. The Horned Frogs stormed into the second half and erased a 31-point deficit to force overtime, and eventually won it in the third overtime, 47-41.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Number 4, Ohio State's a 4-point favorite Saturday at Happy Valley. Buckeyes will play number 3, Penn State. It's a big noon kick. OSU beat Nebraska 21-17 this past Saturday, while Penn State beat Wisconsin 28-13. Nittany Lions lost quarterback Drew Aller late in the second half with an apparent knee injury. His status for this Saturday is unknown. We'll hear from OSU's Ryan Day on Tuesday. He'll hold his weekly press conference tomorrow at noon, then join Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, and Jim Lachey for a special Tuesday edition of Buckeye Roundtable. On the Fan tonight, the Blue Jackets host the Oilers at 7 o'clock. We'll have pregame coverage at 6:30. CBJ lost in Nashville 4-3 over the weekend in OT. And in the NFL tonight, Week 8 wraps up in Pittsburgh. The Steelers host the Giants at 8:15. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, a trip to a postseason game, and more. Register today at roosterswings.com.
The only thing better than watching football is talking about it. So we invented Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a Reaction Monday. Tyvis, Powell, Reese joining me here for the full 3. Austin Ward coming up in a half hour from now. Buckeyes and Nittany's this weekend, number 3 versus number 4. Big Noon and College Game Day will both be there on Saturday in State College. Normally we hit the emails on Thursday, but I thought this one was appropriate because I did get a ton of social media asking what the shoe was like on Saturday, because apparently there were a lot of complaining about it was dead or it wasn't loud, it wasn't whatever. I got this from Joe. The subject, Ohio Stadium. Good morning, Bo. Not sure who to contact at the Fan, but as a 1980s Ohio State alumni, our friends have never been to a more stale Ohio State Stadium environment than we experienced yesterday. It's a real problem. Students are showing up late, a third left at halftime of a close game. There's no special song or tradition that gets them engaged anymore. Hang on, Sloopy has completely lost any meaning. Nobody cheers. Nobody stands up. For anyone who came to Ohio Stadium for the first time, I'm truly embarrassed. No wonder the team was flat. We need to rally as a community to rectify the situation. I'm not exaggerating how bad it was. Hope you're well. Thank you for listening. A lot of that's on point. I would tell you there's a couple of factors, guys, that I think are contributing to the environment at the shoe. And when we had Ross Bjork on when he joined us for a half hour way back in August at those camp, we talked about the shoe, that it needs, and he acknowledged there's some things we got to do here to the shoe to get it up to speed. I think the first thing that has to be addressed and acknowledged is that while Big Noon is a win for Fox, it is a loss for the Big Ten in terms of the on-campus in-game environments. And I saw that on Saturday. I think you're going to see it this Saturday in State College. There is nobody who would argue that a noon game in State College would be better than if it was at 8 or 7:30. just not possible. You played in a whiteout game over there. You know what that place is like at night when the sun goes down. Yes. It ain't going to be like that. It's going to be tough Saturday for sure, but it's different at noon.
It is.
Your morning gets away from you. All of a sudden, you're like, my God, we got to get to the stadium. You hustle in, and it's like, okay, I guess we go. It's just a different feel than 3:30 or 7:30. And because of that, I think around the league, you're seeing a lot of stale environments. So I think Big Noon is an awesome showcase, but it's also the in-stadium environment suffers a little bit for it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, you do spend a lot of time and energy with them trying to get them excited, and everybody's excited to be on TV and all of those things. So I can understand that, but was Big Noon a thing when I was playing, or was it just ESPN? It was just ESPN, no. Just game day?
You had I think you probably did Fox? No, Fox had games at that time, but I don't remember. There definitely wasn't a Big Noon kickoff all the time.
Yeah.
Reese, get the MIT kids to look into that. When did Big Noon start with Fox? What year did that start?
Because I'm trying to think.
You guys played a lot of primetime games, too, with Urban early, where you would go because the network needed you in primetime to lift things up. So you guys played a lot of night games through that era.
I was not. I love the atmosphere of a night game, but I'm much more of a noon guy.
Most players do because you get up and you go. You're not waiting around all day to play.
The Big Noon kickoff, pregame, was 2019.
Okay. But the Big Noon games, I think, preceded that by a little bit.
And I think they were just studio shows, but nothing more than 45 minutes to an hour, maybe.
Yeah. So I think a couple other things that's something you can't do anything about because you took the money, so you're going to play a lot of noon games. That is what it is. Here's some things that do have to get sorted out. The speaker system in the stadium is well past its prime. We were in 15A. It was very difficult to decipher. For example, the hype video before the team runs out. I could not understand it. And I listen and talk for a living. I could not understand what was being said on the hype video. It just was noise. It wasn't clear. Now, maybe it's clear on the field, but in the stands, it's not. So you can't even really make it out. So the speaker situation is long past its prime. The video board situation is long past its prime. I mean, have you seen the video board at Texas? Have you seen what they do? That's what it needs to look like. Now, all of this costs money.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it. He's 100% right on Hang On Sloopy. When that went in the fourth quarter, I'm like, guys, it's Hang On Sloopy. Nobody cared.
What?
Nobody cared.
Hold on, Bo.
No, I'm telling you.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I'm telling you. He's exactly right. I was there.
Do you know I used to raise a hassle about Hang On Sloopy? I would make Urban play that in practice to get us going. Play that HOS. That's what I call it, HOS. And every game when Hang On Sloopy was playing, I stopped and was into it. So the fact that they not, that's alarming. That's very alarming. That's a tradition. So literally a fourth quarter tradition.
No, nobody stood. I mean, there weren't many people standing for it. It was not what it was.
I got to go to a game now.
So it definitely was not what it used to be. So that's part of it. I'll tell you the other thing that's real. And Fox is notorious for this. And look, they got to pay their bills, and this ain't going to change either. The amount of commercial breaks they take is staggering.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. As a player, it's the most wonderful thing.
You're sitting there going, are we done?
When you tired, Bo, and you see that guy in the orange standing on the field, you be like, thank you.
Thank God, yeah.
Thank you. But as a fan, I understand, all right, y'all are dragging this thing.
It's real in the stadium. You're waiting. It feels like you're waiting for forever for those things. So all of the things that I'm talking about takes money. Mm-hmm. This is a historical site. It's a site that you're going to have to find a way to renovate. I thought the NetJets landing thing, that is probably something that you'll see more of because B-Deck is tough, right? The way that's situated. They're going to have to find ways to modernize it. I think one of the things, and we talked about this years ago, Reese, one of the things, and we had an architect from Cincinnati that actually had a proposal. You have to be able to connect the south stands to the rest of the stadium because they're on an island out there.
I'm talking
the Block O, like student section. Yeah. They are removed from the rest of the stadium. You have to find a way so that those common areas you can walk around the stadium.
Well, some people don't like that because they closed off the shoe like it's not a shoe anymore.
Well, it's 2024. It
still has the shape.
Well, you know what I mean.
I do, and I know that you fight with tradition on some of this stuff, but when you juxtapose this to the audio and visual things that are being done, look at what's done at Michigan when they play Mr. Brightside. We don't have anything like that. We tried a couple of years ago. We tried with the Blink-182 song. But quite honestly, they played it. They played the Blink-182 song, Michigan Sucks, We Know, all that stuff. They played it in the game on Saturday, but it's one of those things where, like, you can't even really make it out.
So are you saying
the speaker system has got to be job one? Like, that's got to get sorted because you can't even really make out. When Urban's on a mic honoring you guys for 14, it was hard to make out what he was saying.
So we got
from the stands.
So we got to fix our speaker system, our video board, and we need more
lights.
Spirit.
Well, I think that what you have to do. I was talking to somebody who went up to Ann Arbor on Saturday, and he said, "I know." I said, he said, from the second it goes, there's something. There's something coming. It's a light show. It's a music. It's a this. It's a this. Now, they had a night game against Michigan State, so that helps.
I'm about to say.
With the light show, that definitely helps.
They had a way better opponent. It was an in-state rivalry.
Dude, we played Nebraska. Stop it.
Don't do that.
Stop it. We played Nebraska.
It's Nebraska.
We weren't playing Northwestern. Like, this is a historical team.
Now, listen, Nebraska. Oh, hold on. Don't get me wrong. Nebraska has been doing well this year. They have. Matt Rule has done some things over there. This team was still not bowl eligible.
No, but you're seeing helmets. You see the helmets and you go, okay, like that's when you see that team walk in there, you're like, okay, that's a great deal of pageantry.
If you tell me like all of these things is a problem and it's the rivalry game, then that's when it's like, okay, like.
But here's the deal. It used to be like that every Saturday. Not the rivalry game, but close. It did.
I don't know.
Nothing.
I would not necessarily say that.
Sure, there's some non-conference games that are tough.
I played there.
There's some non-conference games that leave a little bit to be desired.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the other thing is to me, it looked like the stadium had not been like truly improved since the last time I was there as a fan. And that's been a minute.
I don't disagree with that.
It feels about the same. And I know they know it. And I think you got the right people in charge. I think Ted's ready to go. I think Ross is ready to go. That takes fundraising. That takes all of the things like that. But it has to be a place when you bring a recruit in, they're like, man, this is it. And I don't think that's happening now on a week in, week out basis. You mentioned it for the rivalry game. Here's the other part for Big Noon. It's hard to get kids here.
Yeah, because they can't make it.
Because they can't make.
I seen that report that it was some recruit couldn't make it because they said it was a noon game. It was a big time recruit too. He couldn't make the game because it was a noon kick.
How are you going to get it? I mean, to get a kid from the South up here, that's why they want that signing period in the summer, because then you can get them locked in the summer, and you don't have to try to get them here for noon. Because you play Friday night football in the South, how the hell are you going to get here by noon?
Yeah, it's impossible.
6 a.m. flight through Atlanta. It's tough.
That's a long day.
It's still magic. It's still all of the things. It just needs a facelift.
Well,
it's got to get updated. You've got to get video boards.
Eric wants to blow it up. So,
well, he's going to be the mayor of Upper Arlington. Maybe he'll be in charge of it one day.
I mean, it's proximity, right?
They will run him out of town. I told him, don't blow it up. It's a historical landmark. So you got to go build another stadium somewhere else and let the shoe just live.
I mean, blowing up the historical landmarks probably more likely than finding more land around Ohio State's campus.
I don't know the last time you've been to Upper Arlington. It's developed.
Unless you want to talk to the School of Agriculture and be like, hey, can we use some of that?
That's about it. That's kind of where
they're going to tell you no.
I think you have the right people to fix it. I think everybody knows it needs to be updated, and I think they'll get it right. But this is an alum from the '80s saying like, "Hey, man, that ain't it." So that's something there.
I gotta go see it for myself.
Yeah. College football has become survive and advance. It's kind of that simple. We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
A vote for Sherrod Brown is a vote against Donald Trump. Sherrod Brown has spent 31 years in Washington, D.C., backing radical liberal policies.
Late-term partial birth abortion, where the baby is partially delivered alive. Trans biological men in girls' sports and bathrooms. Puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for children. Amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Brown's liberal policies are the opposite of the Trump agenda, and Brown would oppose Trump at every turn. To undo the damage of the last 4 years, President Trump and Ohio need Republican Bernie Moreno in the Senate. 6 more years of Sherrod Brown? He's for they, them, not you. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Check out this sale on red, green, or black seedless grapes. Right now, they're just 99 cents a pound with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com.
At APCO Windows, there's no 35% off sales, no buy one, get one free, just our best bottom line price. So get multiple estimates. Just make sure one is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely, you can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Bo Bishop here. Join us for the Make a Difference Gala, High Bank Distillery, November 12th. It's bourbon, food, and fun with Brady Quinn, Bobby Carpenter, and me. The gala benefits the Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Get your tickets today at 971thefan.com. 21 or older, please drink responsibly.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited truck month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, announcing our $99 home preventative maintenance checkup. Carpenter and Bryant will do whatever it takes to get you ready for the fall and winter ahead. Check us out at carpentercolumbus.com. That's carpentercolumbus.com.
Skyline is serving up special Halloween ways made with orange noodles this Wednesday and Thursday only. Stop in for Skyline Halloween ways or pick them up and take them home. October 30th and 31st only at participating Skyline restaurants while supplies last.
Hear that? That's the sound of Bernie Moreno shredding evidence to avoid paying his employees. You see, Moreno refused to pay his employees the overtime pay they earn, so they sued him. And after a court ordered Moreno to keep the evidence of his wage theft, what did he do? That's right, he shredded it. Moreno even admitted to shredding evidence in court. He was found liable for wage theft, and a court forced him to pay over $400,000. Innocent people don't shred evidence. And now that Bernie Moreno is running for Senate, he doesn't want to talk about how he was caught ripping off his employees. And that begs the question, do you want a guy like that representing you in the Senate? Bernie Moreno, you can't trust him to be for you. The United Association of Plumbers and Pipefitters paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. UA.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, partly cloudy, high 69. Record warmth tomorrow. We could be flirting with a 100-year record. We're going 80 for the high on your Tuesday, 80 again on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie. And once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
Then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yeah, I want to encourage you to join us for an unforgettable evening. It is Tuesday, November 12th. High Bank Distillery in Grandview. Thrilled to invite you to the release of our exclusive fan barrel picks. Proceeds benefits Brady Quinn's Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Enjoy exclusive barrel picks, delicious food pairings, live music, meet and greet with select athletes. Brady will be there, AJ, Bob, among others. I'll be there. For tickets and more information at 971thefan.com. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. A couple of things from social on the stadium situation. This one from Brendan. He writes, there's a generational divide right now. I've noticed around town on campus, students and younger fans, 40 of under, of which I'm included, don't get rowdy. So weird. Growing up in Columbus, if you yelled OH, a loud and resounding IO followed. Not so much today. Reese, that'd be more in your world. Is that do you see that at all?
Not really. Yeah. But I it's much like with the stadium. It's much like with the game day experience. Everybody's going to have their kind of own interpretation of it. That's not mine.
Jake, with this, Ohio State has to get the students out of the south stands and back into the closed end zone. One gigantic wall of students in the north end zone and on the curve. Get the band back over there, too. Then speakers, video scoreboard. There might be something to this, too, because there's no question.
Wasn't the band in the north end zone when I was playing? I feel like.
No, they were always south.
Really?
Because remember you go to Carmen, Ohio, and it's right in front of them.
I guess that's the point. I thought we did that just because of the student section. I thought it was it wasn't. Maybe it was two bands. I promise you, it was somebody in the north.
Yeah, it was. I think there's a point too of there is a separation. There's definitely a separation on those south stands and the connective tissue to the stadium. And so we were at like the 15-yard line. We were in 15A, which is, I don't know, like the 15, 20-yard line, something like that. Mm-hmm. And it felt like
seats, huh?
Oh, yeah, they're very nice. With your boys. A lot of your boys are in the mix. And so that you were a ways away from, it felt like they were almost on the other side of the planet is kind of the way that those south stands feel from there. So I think that would help. I think connecting it would help too. I think you got to do that. But the just modernizing it. My wife goes, "Are you telling me in 2024 we're going to have porta potties still inside the stadium?" It's an old building, hon. Yeah. This is what you get with an old building sometimes. This is a survive and advance situation in college football.
Yeah, it is.
It's just where we are. Texas survived and advanced, lived to see another day. LSU did not. They're done. Don't be coming with me with LSU's in the playoff. No. You're done. That's it. They went to A&M. They got routed by A&M.
That Reese, what's his name? Reese Dave? What's that quarterback name? He is
Nussmeier? Or the guy the kid who came in. Yeah, the kid who came in.
The running quarterback. He was
Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed came in, yeah. Yeah, he ran 9 times for 62 yards, 3 touchdowns. He went 2 for 2 for 70. Carter Wegman was doing nothing. He was 6 of 18 in the game, doing nothing. They make the change to Marcel Reed, and away we go.
Yeah.
But that's what happens.
Special. He nice.
He is. That's what happens when you get serious people coaching, though. They got rid of I got ranches, and they're in a better spot for it. But that's what this is. SMU survived and advanced in the game as well. There's a lot of things that happen in the sport. Bama won pretty big, so I think they're kind of still sort of in the mix, hovering around that 10 to 12 area there. Notre Dame buried Navy. Navy uncharacteristically turned the ball over a ton in this game, which is just not what they do. And that one let them get away from them. Really, the most impressive team over the last month is the team we played 2 weeks ago.
Indiana. Oh, you said 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Oregon.
Yeah. It's not even close. They
consistently show up. They look the part. They buried Illinois.
Yeah,
it was 35-3 at half, bud.
And I respect Illinois' team and what they've been able to do this year, but you could tell they was in over their head. When you just look at some of the highlights and you see the score,
yeah,
they was in. They had a dude run somebody over for a touchdown. I mean, he just straight Whittemeyer, whatever his name is, he just ran the dude smooth over for a touchdown. I said, they disrespected him now. They're head and shoulders above a lot of teams right now.
Indiana looked good with their win over Washington at home, took care of business there. What do we make of Penn State? Reese mentioned in the update about the injury to Drew Aller. He was 14 of 18 for 148 when he went out. They bring in Bo Prabula. He ends up 11 of 13 for 98 and a touchdown. They get 2 touchdowns in the fourth to kind of separate from Luke's team, but it was 14-13 heading into the fourth. It was everything the fist fight we thought it would be on Friday. All of those things lived up to it. Penn State did separate late in that game, but they are ranked 3rd in the country. Does it feel like that's where they are?
No, but they have a chance to try to prove why they could be there. I'll tell you what, it's an interesting story. Isn't Drew Aller from Ohio?
He's Medina.
And Will Howard's from Pennsylvania?
It is. Thanks.
That's interesting. Which one is more upset about not being recruited by they
Ohio State went in on Aller, I believe, but it was late. Really late in the process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he's the Quinn. I think he was same age as Quinn.
Oh, well, there was no way that they was going to get.
Yeah,
they had Quinn Ewers. So
yeah, and Will had a great bite in the post game from Saturday.
He said he wanted to go there. He said his
dream school.
Yeah, so he's going to show up and he's going to show out. Which he's been playing some really good ball. To me, whoever takes care of the football, because I think both of them have moments where they turn the ball over and it's like awkward. Whoever doesn't have that moment will probably go on and win this game.
I'll tell you, our guy, Julian Fleming, dropped.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
He dropped a ball in the first half of the game against Wisconsin that you're like, buddy, that ain't it. He's got 10 catches for 148, Julian, in that game, and so far in the season for Penn State. Yeah, I'm be very curious to see what you listen to Franklin post game, and it sounds like obviously Aller, it wasn't precautionary, like he could not continue.
Mm-hmm.
What does the week look like for him at quarterback? Because you're right, this is as big a game as this is for Ohio State. It's in terms of perception and program and all of it, it's even bigger for James Franklin.
Yeah, because he hasn't had a big win against a good team yet, and this is probably one of his more talented roster. You finally got some receivers that's actually doing. You got a tight end that's probably the best in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
So like you got some weapons there. You got a DN that's probably going to be a top 15 pick in the draft. So
he makes me quite nervous.
Yeah, I mean with our O-line situation, Abdul Carter.
Those two backs are Allen and Singleton are weapons.
Allen, I think had the better game last week.
He did, yeah.
So. But our linebackers are good, so I'm not worried about them. It's all about if they wide receivers become a factor. That's the thing. And can Caleb Downs or whoever our safety is, can he contain Tyler Warren?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to me.
Austin going to join us next. What he saw from the game on Saturday, what he expects Saturday in Happy Valley. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, Expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at MountCarmelForYou.com.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Join Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, and Jim Lachey for 2 whole hours of scarlet and gray goodness.
Thank you, football guy.
Buckeye Roundtable, Monday night at 6.
Presented by Burger King.
Your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan.
Get your ex to the lodge for the freshest menu additions. Spice up your wing order with new sauces featuring the chicken tikka or spicy chili crisp. Or try our famous flatbreads with the backyard barbecue brisket or chicken tikka. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Active military or veteran planning your next career move? Start at Columbus State Community College. Columbus State equips you with the skills to launch a high-tech career in Columbus's fastest-growing fields, including cybersecurity, software development, and more. That's why employers fueling Central Ohio's tech boom hire our graduates. Plus, our veteran services team will help you maximize your benefits and connect to a supportive campus community. Take the first step. Apply at cscc.edu/IT.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. If your fall is anything like the people in my neighborhood, your weekends are full of driving kids to endless soccer things. So if you're going to be on the road, be as comfortable as possible. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend a new Lexus. That's not true, but I recommend it. Deal time, 2.99% finance rate on a 2024 RX. That's madness. 4.49% finance rate for a 2025 NX. And you can get up to $5,000 lease cash for a 2024 RX. Check them out online, JermaineLexus.com.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at lifelock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. More life, more energy.
Indeed, he does, and he joins on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Great buddy, Austin Ward. 1 of 10 on third down. Man, you just never would have seen it coming. Obviously, Ryan not happy about it either. What did you make of? I mean, we spent all 2 weeks saying, hey, the defense, and all of a sudden it's like, man, we can't get a first down on 3rd and short, 4th and short. I thought this team would be a bludgeoning behemoth that would punch you in the mouth, Austin. I still think they can accomplish all their goals. It just might have to be in a different way.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely going to have to be in a different way, especially after Zen Michalski gets hurt late and the offensive line was not playing great to that point anyway. So to your point, they have 2 weeks to prepare. They decided that Zen Michalski was clearly the best option. Felt like they settled on that pretty quickly. When they had to go to an emergency situation, we saw them move Donovan Jackson out there to left tackle late in the game. So in terms of lining up and punching people in the mouth and running the football with Quinshawn Judkins and Travion Henderson, right now it's kind of hard to envision that. And you look at the way that game played out and the box score, and Will Howard going 13 for 16. Yeah, he had the interception. He had another throw down there coming out from inside the minus 10-yard line that wasn't great. He had 3 incompletions in the game. Ohio State, it's like a Ryan Day, Chip Kelly team throwing it 16 times, and I know that the possessions were lower, the time possession, total plays run in the game weren't incredibly high, but, this team still has Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Egbuka, and Carnell Tate. It's probably going to need to look more like what we're used to from Ryan Day in terms of airing the football out for this team to accomplish what it wants to do.
Let me ask you, Austin. So say that Zen is healthy. Do you think, although he struggled last week, do you continue to roll him at left tackle, or do you think they're better off or better suited with Donovan Jackson at left tackle and having a left guard come in?
I don't think, based on what I saw after the game, that Zen Michalski is going to be an option for Ohio State. He was immediately on crutches on Saturday. I think that you're on to, plan C here for Ohio State no matter what. And I think they would, to your, what you're suggesting, Tyvis, would you need to consider another option even if he was healthy? I think so. I thought even in the middle of that game, it was pretty clear that even though Ryan Day expressed a desire to let Zen Michalski in his first start play through that and see if he could get to the other side, he was being overwhelmed. And I don't want to pick on somebody who is now dealing with an injury, but it was pretty clear that something else needed to be done. And it's frankly surprising to me, Tyvis, that the break glass in case of emergency option with Donovan Jackson was what they had to go with. You have, if that is the most confidence they have of anybody else left on this roster at tackle, that is a really rough spot to be at. And further suggestion that the recruiting and development of that position over the last few years has not been close to what the program standard needs to be. So I would guess that they're probably going to roll with Donovan Jackson on Saturday at left tackle, because when they were pushed to the brink on Saturday night, that was the option that they chose.
Yeah, I think one thing that I'm seeing week to week in college football, and it applies certainly here as well, is we do the transitive thing, right? And we say, well, Indiana beat them 56-7. Why couldn't we do that? And the reality is that you just don't get that. I mean, you saw Texas and Vandy. You've seen other things throughout the country of these teams that are supremely talented. I also think that it's possible that top to bottom, because so much has been made, and not necessarily by us here locally, but even the Nationals, about best team money can buy, all of that stuff, that this was the most talented Buckeye team of all time. And it's not at that level. It's also not the sky is falling. And guess what else? There isn't a team. Oregon looks great right now, Austin. But you watch college football on a Saturday. There is not a team out there, other than perhaps the Ducks, and when you watch them, you go, man, that is a buzzsaw. There just aren't. Texas isn't a buzzsaw. Georgia's not a buzzsaw. On a given night, anybody can beat anybody. I don't know how it happened, but that's where I feel like we are with the sport right now.
Yeah, and even we can lump Oregon in there without much issue. If they didn't have two special teams, returns against Boise State, they would have lost that game. So everybody can lose. I think that that's an important thing for me to remember, for us to all remember. And Bo, you've known me for 13 years. I was covering Tyvis in college. Tyvis knows the way that I approach things. I'm generally going to give the benefit of the doubt and look for the optimistic side of things. But that was really hard to do on Saturday. And it's not just because of the transitive issue. And I know that Nebraska was going to bounce. Like, it's fair for Nebraska to be motivated to want to bounce back after being embarrassed by Indiana. But that doesn't mean that Nebraska's offensive line suddenly became world beaters. It doesn't mean that they became far more talented than what they had shown to date. Like, they can be competitive and play and make things a challenge for Ohio State. There were certain areas of the game where I thought that was going to happen. But, you look at their body of work compared to what we know Ohio State can be at its best. I'm going to put this one on the Buckeyes not showing up to play, whether that's whether that's coaching, whether that's scheme, whether that's execution, whether that's energy, which I thought, there were parts of all of that were true on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were incredibly lucky to have won that game. And that's not something that I generally say because, as you mentioned, college football games are hard to win.
Ouch. Let me ask you about...
Well, if Dylan hits the wheel route,
yeah,
my 8-year-old goes, Dylan Raiola sold, Dad. If he hits it, I don't know. It's my, you might. We're doing a very different show.
100%. That's how close this was.
Well, Austin, let me ask you about the D-line, because in this game, one thing you can say is that they tried to change things up. I seen them do twists. I seen them stunts and all of those things. What did you think of the new, I guess, approach to the defensive line? And they also sent guys blitzing as well.
Yeah, I mean, there were new things out there. I also saw one of those twists, Kenyatta Jackson run into JT Tuimoloau and knock him to the ground. So it wasn't executed very well. I don't want to be overly critical of it, and I think that Ohio State could look at the things that it tried to do on Saturday and be like, "Whoa, 13 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. There's some progress." They can feel pretty good about that. I don't necessarily agree with that. Most of those tackles for loss came from a really poor offensive game plan and a ton of screens that were never going to work. JT's sack came when he was completely unblocked, and the other 2 came when Ohio State added in blitzers from the second level. And that's not to take away the fact that maybe that's the way they're going to generate it moving forward. And if that's the case, so be it. You're going to have that level of production with sacks and tackles for loss. But I also saw those top 4 starters play at least 58 snaps apiece. So if the personnel is going to remain unchanged, I would think that the results probably are going to be as well, because we've seen what that looks like. And I know we've gone back and forth over the years about, rotation and situations. And, I'm as tired of that conversation as anybody else. But, if you're looking for something new, trotting out the same Rushman package with Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry on the inside and JT and Jack on the outside, we've seen that. And we've seen Nebraska handled it easily, and so did Oregon. So that's been going on for a long time. I didn't feel like there were enough new ideas coming off of 2 weeks of preparation and a supposedly angry football team that was going to send a message. 17 points is good. 13 tackles for loss, that's good. 3 sacks, that's good. All those things I think are progress, but is that going to carry over against a much more talented opponent on the road on Saturday? I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
I was pretty damn nervous until Dylan threw the ball to Jordan Hancock. I'll tell you that. Because all it took was one, and that probably shouldn't have been in that spot. I'll get you out of here on this. If this team is to still accomplish its goals, and its goals are as high as possible, I'm kind of to the point where it will be up to Will Howard to do it, and that was not in the brochure. That's not what he was brought here to be. It's hard for me to see, and what I mean by that is all the things we're talking about, offensive line, defense, all this stuff, like they're going to have to score in the pass game, which is something I did not think this team would be. That's where I'm at with them here on October 28th. Where are you?
Without question. And I think the part that is, I think he can do that. And he took those deep shots and he hit them on Saturday with Carnell Tate. Not just the touchdown to Tate, but the one on the go-ahead drive and then the throw to Jeremiah Smith. I mean, he's done the things that need to be done in terms of the passing game. I thought that Ohio State should have leaned on him to do that more on Saturday, including some stuff with his legs. That's going to have to happen on Penn State without question. But I think the part that this can be addressed, this can be fixed. The 2 people that I think are the most impactful players, not just on the field, but also off it in terms of leadership right now, are Will Howard and Caleb Downs. They've been here for 9 months.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign for this team. Everybody on that roster is going to have to take a serious, like we said this after Oregon, and I'm not sure it happened. I think that the veteran group, the leaders on this team, need to understand the situation they're in and take some ownership, and it shouldn't just be coming from Will Howard and Caleb Downs. And I'm not saying that is definitely the case in the locker room, but from what we're seeing on the outside, that's the impression we're left with.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Good stuff as always. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, see you guys.
All right, that's our buddy Austin Ward, the podcast and Dotting the I's on the Rivals Network on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We hit Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Calvin Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina, and at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Hey, it's Anthony. If you want to make the best deal in town on a new Honda, make sure you visit my friends at your main Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. And Rich tells me you're going to get 1.90% APR up to 60 months on most new 24s and 25 Hondas. They'll give you the details. Of course, you'll get same-day service, no appointment needed. And how about an extra $1,000 for your trade if you have a 2014 or newer vehicle? All with the great people at your main Honda of Dublin.
A.J. Hawk won a national title, a Super Bowl, and a Lombardi Award, but his weekly appearance on Morning Juice Fridays at 8:33 is the real highlight of his career. If he tells you otherwise, he's lying.
Sponsored by FanDuel.
The Fan.
The blood battle is back, and the Buckeyes are the defending two-time champions. Donate blood at a Versity Blood Drive by November 27th to help Ohio State beat Michigan again. Sign up at versity.org/blood battle. Buckeyes bleed scarlet and gray.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture expert technicians who are quick but not rushed. When you hear the bell, breathe in and out. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today and find automotive peace. No appointment needed.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Reaction Monday. Hit it, Reese.
Thing or not a thing?
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
All right, so late last week, Front Office Sports reported Major League Baseball is looking into new restrictions on player use of Zyn pouches in locker rooms and in dugouts. Their source said, quote, to the extent there is ambiguity regarding the status of these novel products at the Major League level, we plan to address that with the Major League Baseball Players Association this offseason. With what the league wants is to avoid its players using nicotine products in places, quote, where it is visible to younger fans who want to emulate what their favorite players are doing on the field. MLB banned the use of chewing tobacco for new players back in 2016. Like that rule change, any new rule for nicotine pouches would have to be negotiated with the Players Association. This was just last week in the NFL. Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield was caught by cameras using Zyn pouches on the sideline. He got a letter from the league about that. He was not fined, but he was just reminded that they're not to be used on the sideline. So I guess that's the rule. Thing or not a thing?
Okay. So is this tobacco or is it just like
It's nicotine.
Okay, so it has no tobacco in it at all. It's just a nicotine thing.
Talking that's what Philip Morris is saying?
We talking like the pouches that everybody put in and spit in with the spitter and all that. That's what you're talking about.
Why do they have to spit if there's no tobacco? Wouldn't you just swallow it?
I
mean, I'm new to it. I don't know
what these kids do, Bo.
I don't know what a Zyn pouch is.
I don't either. I know what pouches are, like long cutting pouches. I know what that is, but I don't know what this.
Bottom of this. Let me get to the bottom of this. It's a brand of nicotine patch designed to place. Okay, tobacco-free, smoke-free alternative to cigarettes contain nicotine powder. Okay, all right.
So I don't believe there's any spitting involved. But just over the past couple of years, I've noticed, and I'm sure other people have noticed, just a dramatic uptick in its usage and in its popularity because there isn't smoke involved, there isn't tobacco involved.
I see.
It's hard for me to comment on this because I don't do none of that stuff. If you want to be, what my suggestion would be is chew bubble gum and eat sunflower seeds. The end.
Here's the thing.
Isn't that what Frank did?
Yeah, he was big on that. So was Alex Rodriguez. What was the? I have smoked a cigarette in my life, and as a kid, I did put a pack of Red Man from my grandpa in between my cheek and gum and acted like a big shot.
What is this, the Sandlot?
Yeah, it was a lot like that. I mean, my grandpa, it was Beech Nut and Red Man were the two that he had, and so their era did it. Like they just were in that era where everybody smoked, everybody chewed tobacco, and so I remember doing that and throwing up mightily, and that was kind of the end of it. My dad chewed Copenhagen when I was a little kid, and then he stopped. You get addicted to those things for sure, but it's just not something you see that much anymore. I don't know if my kids have ever even seen anybody smoke a cigarette at this point. Like, I don't even know the last time I've seen anyone smoke a cigarette. So it's been a while. The culture's changed a great deal. I guess the point of it was, I don't know why, if I was trying to perform sports at the highest level, I would want what nicotine does, which is usually kind of a mellower.
I think maybe it relaxes you, locks you in.
Maybe I don't get locked in.
Like when I play football,
everybody reacts to things differently, but I never got like a locked in feel from it.
Well, when I play football, everybody use dip, like they long cut or they use the pouches like that. And I'll be like, why y'all doing that? Well, I'm trying to stay alert for meetings and stuff like that. So it's like, that's when they
stay awake.
That's why they had
do
the
that
spitter.
That's the thing. You get kind of the jolt or the I don't know if it's jittery is the right phrasing. I'm thinking back to the Ohio State-Oregon game the week of. McAfee was interviewing Dan Lanning and asked him, how many of those Zyn pouches are you going to have in your mouth? And Lanning just laughed because he uses that stuff a lot.
I see.
And so I think that's to stay alert, to have...
I don't know. Like I get you don't want the young kids to but then, I mean, I guess you're gonna be curious as a kid. I saw it and it never, I don't know. I don't know. I get it. I get why they want to do it. I'm not mad at the MLB for that, but yeah.
We'll talk about this game a little bit more tomorrow, but the Niners beat the Cowboys 30-24 Sunday night. At the start of the third quarter, the Niners were trailing 10-6. George Kittle had a 43-yard catch and run that set up San Francisco's go-ahead score. on that play, Cowboys defensive back Trayvon Diggs, was loafing.
Yeah.
And he got caught loafing on that play.
Yeah, he did.
Mike Leslie of WFAA in Dallas pointed that out on Twitter. Quote, what is Trayvon Diggs doing on this play? And if you go back and watch, loafing. He was hoping someone else was going to make the tackle on Kittle down the left sideline. Well, after that game, Diggs came out and confronted Leslie, saying, quote, you don't know football. You can't do nothing that I do. You can't guard there and do nothing. Stay in your lane, buddy. Stop playing with me, bro. And Leslie asked if he'd like to have that conversation with Diggs down outside of their locker room. He said they could talk about, quote, D's nuts. And Mike Leslie on Twitter says, I do not have a comment about D's nuts. Thing or not a thing?
I don't think there's any win for anyone in doing this. Truly. I think there is no win. There's no win for... Look, you're growing. There's an era of guys now who, and this is your era, that grew up with phones, and they grew up on social. There are coaches who are addicted to phones and addicted to social. Kevin Durant is the best offensive basketball player I've ever seen play. I think he's unguardable. He had a burner account to go at people who came at him on Twitter. So. This is a real thing that this affects the well-being. I've seen it with countless guys, professional athletes, who I'm shocked at how much they look at their mentions, but they do. You have got to be able to turn that faucet off, or this is what you end up in. And there's no win here for either Diggs or the reporter. Nobody wins in this thing.
Well, the problem, Bo, is everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be liked. They do. And when you go against that and you slightly criticize them, they go over the top with it. Me, when I played, I looked at all that stuff. After game, I looked at all of it, and I got grilled, and I got people saying some nice things. A lot of people said some hurtful things. But to me, it's the way you take it. It's the way your mind reacts to it. And to me, my thought always was the only reason that this guy or this girl or this lady is criticizing me is because they care that much. And I always took this quote as sometimes hate can be the best love, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's how you got to apply it to your life. Like, the only reason they doing this is because they want to see you succeed. They want to see their team succeed. And they know they expect better of you, and you need to be better. If you took that mindset, you wouldn't care how crazy somebody says, as long as it's not personal. And like you say, it's people just different. And I get why Trayvon Diggs feels the way he does. Dallas is not having the season that they want to have. It's very frustrating. It's a lot of tempers flaring. So he just exploded on something that it really ain't that deep, because he definitely was loafing on that play.
Yeah, and the truth hurts too. I mean, there's no question.
It was loafing.
There's no doubt.
I'm trying to think, would it be Bears defensive back Tyreek Stevenson is probably the guy who should not check his mentions.
Is that the dude who was
That's the dude who was
pumping the crowd.
Yeah.
And then it was him who knocked the ball to Noah. He knocked the ball to him. It was he got his hand on it, and the ball went to Noah behind. It was
so funny.
Unbelievable play. I was watching that live, by the way.
These DBs are funny nowadays.
You just got to, it's all out there, man. And it's hard, but the PR people at those respective teams just got to try to get through to them. Like, nobody wins by doing this. It's just not going to be something where anybody comes out on the good side of things. We'll blitz the Buckeyes coming up next. Final hour on a Reaction Monday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Join Bobby Mack and Jody Shelley for the Inside Edge, a behind-the-scenes look at all things Blue Jackets.
Wednesday night at 7.
Your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Get all your holiday shopping done in just one stop with early holiday deals at Meijer. Save big this week on gifts for everyone. For the competitive ones on your list, select puzzles and board games are buy two, get one free. Share the sense of the season with Yankee Candle products. Buy one, get one for $1. And for those who believe that bigger is always better, save $200 on an Element 65-inch Zumo TV. Shop even more great gift ideas like these in the Meijer Holiday Gift Guide. Available on Meijer.com, in-store, or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and sauté. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Blue Jackets are back on home ice tonight, hosting the Edmonton Oilers at 7 p.m. You can hear that one on The Fan with coverage at 6:30. Jackets look to rebound from Saturday's overtime loss in Nashville. Daniil Tarasov likely to get the nod in net. Tonight's the first in a 3-game homestand. CBJ will host the Islanders on Wednesday. Winnipeg's in town Friday. In college football, number 4 Ohio State is at number 3 Penn State Saturday at noon. Buckeyes are 4.5-point favorites in this one. Ryan Day will hold his weekly press conference tomorrow at noon. In the NFL, Week 8 wraps up tonight in Pittsburgh. The Steelers host the Giants at 8:15. And in baseball, the Yankees host the Dodgers in Game 3 of the World Series. First pitch from the Bronx is 8:08. Los Angeles leads 2-0. This update sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, a trip to a postseason game, and more. Register today at roosterswings.com.
Are you fired up? Is it Monday? It must be Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. Final hour here on a Reaction Monday. React to the Buckeyes' 21-17 win over Nebraska. Let's blitz them. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present Buckeye Blitz.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, Reese, we do this well. What do we do well?
Oh, they sure acquire talent well. This Buckeye team's the most talented that Well, they've got the most talent of any team they will play this season, in the regular season, and likely until they meet someone in the playoffs. They've got more talent than even Oregon. They've got more talent than Oregon.
I think that's kind of a coin flip on that one, but I appreciate the commitment to the bit, my friend.
I love your consistency. It's really good.
Yeah.
For
Go
me,
ahead, T.
coach and develop linebackers. I think that our linebackers for the past couple of years have been really good. Even, going back to last year, to the guys having a whole new group this year and having these guys up to speed and playing the way that they play. I think we do a really good job at linebacker here.
Yeah, I think what we do well is something that I thought would be a secondary thing that we would do well, as opposed to the primary thing that we would do well offensively, but it's throw the ball. We throw the ball well. Will played really good at Oregon. A couple of things at the end, obviously, wishes he could have back. Played really well in the game against Nebraska. And you've got great receivers, to Reese's point, on acquiring talent and developing talent. You have game records on that side of things. And so with that comes identity. And it's not the identity that I thought this team would have, but you can win with this identity. Won't beat Georgia if we continue to do what, Reese?
Well, I'll just bring it to Penn State, the opponent this Saturday. 1-4-10 on third down will not get it done in Happy Valley.
No.
That's a fact. They might get ran out the building. They go 1 for 10. I said not develop offensive linemen. If you continue to not have guys that can bang in the trenches with some of the best in the country, it's going to be always a hard time winning it all.
Do you know what if you go back to like 07, 08, and as I was transitioning from covering Florida and Florida State at that time, and then covering Ohio State, and that the last thing I covered down there was Florida beating Ohio State in the national championship game, and then the next year they played LSU in the national championship game. And the thing that struck me immediately was it wasn't the skill guys. The skill guys were awash. The talent was there. Ohio State skill guys, linebackers. It was in the trenches. Like, Ohio State did not have the dudes up front that LSU had. They did not have Ricky Jean-Francois and Glenn Dorsey. They did not have Carlos Dunlop. They didn't have those type of guys.
Dorsey, I ain't heard that name.
So when Urban got here, who was the first kid he recruited that he went all in on? Noah Spence. And Noah Spence was a 5-star kid from Pennsylvania. And Urban said, I have got to have dudes.
Didn't he flip him from Penn State?
He wasn't committed to Penn State yet, but he was a big Penn State lean. But his whole operation was, we have got to get better in the two lines of scrimmage. And I feel like we're kind of back to that point now where we are not as dominant up front on the lines of scrimmage, offense and defense, as is required to beat a team like Georgia. And that's something that I don't know if you can fix that midstream. Like, that's kind of are who you are at this point, this far into it. So I think that's a real concern for this team going forward. And yes, you could just turn it to won't beat Penn State if you can't block it. Won't beat Penn State if you can't get home with 4 from time to time. Got to do that. I'd like to see more of what, Reese?
Well, I think Ohio State's offense, what we'd say RPO, I think you might have to take out the R and the O. 16 attempts, I'm not sure if that's going to get it done moving forward against a team like Indiana, against a team like Penn State. Probably even against Michigan. You're going to have to throw the ball more. So 16 attempts for Will Howard, bump those numbers up, I think, moving forward.
How about the 4th down call in the second half that's a throw? Because they're sick of not being able to get a yard.
That says a lot. Even in my induced state, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
We couldn't just line up and pick up a yard on the ground, T.
Don't remind me. It's frustrating. It really is. Because this team, who they were just before the Oregon loss, is not who they are now, and it's shocking.
Can't all just be Josh, right?
They make it seem like that, though. That's the problem.
But it just
like
can't,
it
can't just be that.
For me, I like to see more of Caleb Downs making plays. Like I say, you acquired him. You've seen his tape from Alabama, and so far I have not seen that guy that played for Alabama. I haven't seen him in this O State secondary. He's had glimpses, but from a consistency basis, I haven't seen that guy, and I want to see it.
So I literally wrote down Caleb Downs weaponized.
I'm glad we see it the same.
Same. Yeah, because when you see what you don't get on television that you get when you're in the building is you can see all of the things he's capable of, and you see it. but I don't see it weaponized the way that you'd like to. Coach, who earned his courtesy car, Reese, who do you got?
I'll give it to our good buddy Threes. Those linebackers were playing with their hair on fire. I think it was Cody Simon possessed out there. And, I mean, they saved the Buckeyes bacon on that day, and it was in large part because they've been coached up to do so.
Well, if you're going to take that answer, then I'll go with Brian Hartline. I mean, the wide receivers play well. Carnell Tate stepping up and having the monster game that he had, and these guys are all doing the right things. They're blocking well on the edge if the running back can get out there. They have those blocks there. They're making the plays when the ball comes their way. So I'll go with Brian Hartline.
My man Threes took care of me. He took care of his linebacking room as well. It was unbelievable the way they played. He does little things. He's as people who listen regularly when he and I were doing the show, just the best dude. And like he brought Sonny over to give the boys high five. Like he just does little things that you just don't think about. And then his guys played unbelievable. I mean, Cody was unbelievable in the way he played yesterday. And Sonny's coming leaps and bounds. Game Ball's offense. And by the way, Arvell Reese too.
Yeah.
Like that's a mold of clay that I look forward to him molding. Game Ball's offense, what do you got?
Carnell Tate, that touchdown ball was underthrown, but you make your quarterback look good by catching it.
It was not. It was just.
It was underthrown.
It was slightly. Oh, y'all making a big deal out of this.
It's not a big deal because he caught it.
Slightly underthrown. Anyways, I'm going Carnell Tate as well. Like I say, Carnell Tate is one of those receivers that you just, if you know him and you know his story and you know everything about him, you love to see him shine on Saturdays, and it was good to see him have that big game. So Carnell Tate.
I'm going to go Will Howard here because I don't know where you'd be without him. I don't want to think about it because not just in the way he's played really well, but also leadership, all of it. He's kind of become like one of the faces of the team, which is something I didn't think we would necessarily be the case at this point in the season. Game Ball's defense, who do you got, Reese?
Jordan Hancock.
I love that. Nice way to give some secondary love. Look at you.
You earned it.
I'm going Cody Simon. Like I said, he closed the door on this comeback with that fourth quarter, with that last drive Nebraska had, sniffing them two screens out, making it very hard for them to get anything going. That right there, he's a closer.
I'm going to go Hancock as well, and because as I'm sitting here watching this, and the last couple of times, like I've taken the boys to stuff, like it's been Browns games and they've lost. And so I'm like, every time that we do something like this, they lose. And if Jordan Hancock doesn't catch, I mean, it's a punt basically, but if he doesn't catch that and they drive and score, I'm like, how am I going to explain that a 25.5-point favorite lost at home to Nebraska? Like, I remember telling the boys, like, look, they're going to win. It's just how much are they going to win by? Yeah. So good job out of you, Jordan Hancock, for making sure I didn't have to have that conversation. Big Ten threat level, Reese, who do you got?
No, it's the Hoosiers. You don't know.
They're real.
Google them.
They are.
They might be real, T.
Problem in 3 weeks.
It ain't no bite about it. They are legit. And like I keep telling everybody, Kirk Cignetti to me is just, he's Urban Meyer reincarnated to me. Just some of the things he said.
Reincarcerated? He's going back to jail?
I mean, what did I say? Incarnated. Dang, I did say carcerated.
Sending him to Lucasville.
Yeah, anyways, you know what I mean.
I knew where you were going. It was just too much of a layup.
I took Oregon and Indiana. Those are the top two to me.
Yeah, Indiana is the clear answer to not repeat some of the things you guys did. It was a big win for Michigan to beat Michigan State because Michigan State was kind of turning the corner a little bit, and they survived the early start to that game. And then they might only win one more game because they got Oregon this week, Ohio State at the end, they got Indiana, and they got Northwestern. So it's a tough month for them. Sharon Moore needed something, and he got it in a win on Saturday night. You have our attention nationally, Reese. Who do you got?
LSU. They were really impressive. I mean, not LSU, Texas A&M in their win over LSU.
What was the medication you were on?
Well, it was effective.
Substantial.
In watching Texas A&M beat LSU, even through my days, I could see that, well, all right, A&M's put it together. Like, they lost in week 1, and much like LSU, much like Clemson, we kind of just threw them in the waste bin, and I'm not sure that Texas A&M's quite done.
I'm going with Bodie's Fighting Irish, Notre Dame. I think the way that they beat Navy, I expected Navy to be playing pretty closely because of that offense, but the way that they went out there and completely dominated them and made them made the Navy look unusual to some of the things that they were doing. They got my attention. It's about
3 turnovers. You just playing the way that Navy plays, you can't turn the ball over, and they usually don't. I'm going to go all the way back to last Thursday night and Pitt. Pitt handled Syracuse. They are 7-0. Pat Narduzzi's team now 7-0 on the season. They turned over Kyle McCord 5 times in the game, including 3 pick sixes. Crazy.
That's crazy.
The top of that ACC is going to be a thing with Clemson, Pitt, Miami, and SMU all at the top. All right, win it all grade. What do you got, Reese?
They're a B.
B minus.
We've never dipped into this territory. It's always been an A all season long. But there are some cracks in the foundation that need to be fixed by Saturday, or this thing starts to free fall a little bit. This is a crazy Penn State game for both teams. And I heard our guys post-game talking about, we're in the playoffs already, all that stuff. Well, then it better show up Saturday at noon in Happy Valley, or they will be. I promise you this. Whatever Penn State's best is, we don't know what's going to happen with Al, we don't know any of it. Whatever their best is, you're going to get it Saturday because they need it. They need it for their psyche. Ohio State needs it to prove that they can still beat those type of teams. That's going to be nuts. And right now it looks like Buckeyes 3.5. Is that what I saw?
I ate 4.5 on ESPN.
4.5? Okay. That's 4.5. I don't know. We'll go around the NFL coming up next, including a revelation at quarterback in Cleveland and a what in the hell is happening in Cincinnati. It's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture an oil change that's quick, not rushed. When you hear the bell, feel yourself becoming light as a feather. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today. No automotive worry, no appointment needed.
At APCO Windows, there's no 35% off sales, no buy one, get one free, just our best bottom line price. So get multiple estimates. Just make sure one is from APCO.
Absolutely, you can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at DewOutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code Columbus now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
Skyline is serving up special Halloween ways made with orange noodles this Wednesday and Thursday only. Stop in for Skyline Halloween ways or pick them up and take them home. October 30th and 31st only at participating Skyline restaurants while supplies last.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Guinness is in on this. You can pay them off. They're like, I might look at him. He's not breathing. And then I don't know why they're Australian. They're drinking Guinness.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Just how liberal is Sherrod Brown? Take a look at his actual votes. That's what Debbie from the Cleveland area did.
I thought I knew Sherrod Brown. Now I hear he's super liberal, so I went and looked at his votes. Brown voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions. It's horrific. The AMA said it should be banned, but Sherrod voted for it more than once.
In fact, Sherrod Brown voted for partial birth abortion 6 different times.
Partial birth abortion? Allowing trans biological men in girls' locker rooms and girls' sports? Sex change surgery for kids? He seemed like a good guy, but with Brown's voting record, I just can't vote for him.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. When you look at his actual votes, Sherrod Brown is just way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
You know, Ohio's Supreme Court makes headlines for the wrong reasons. They even ruled it's okay for boneless chicken wings to have bones that can choke kids.
But we can stop their extreme one-party politics by voting for Mike Donnelly, Melody Stewart, and Lisa Forbes for Ohio's Supreme Court.
Right. Ohio's newspapers say Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes are the clear choice.
We need an experienced, independent court we can trust. And Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes will judge the Reproductive Freedom Amendment fairly and honestly, protecting our rights, safety, and families.
Ohioans deserve independent justice, transparency, and equal treatment under the law. That's why we really need Donnelly, Stewart, and Forbes to provide checks and balances.
Don't stop fighting for your rights, freedoms, and choices. But do remember to vote for Mike Donnelly, Melody Stewart, and Lisa Forbes.
Paid for by Donnelly for Supreme Court, Stewart for Ohio Supreme Court, and Forbes for Justice.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Lots going on in the world of weather this week. Today, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, high 69. Record warmth on your Tuesday and Wednesday. Both days, highs will be in the 80s. And then some heavy rainfall possibly by Halloween. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
I don't know if you know this or not, but early to mid-30s, us guys start losing about 2 to 3% of your testosterone production every year. It happens gradually, and before you know it, you don't feel like the same man you did back in your 20s or early 30s. It can be a decrease in libido, putting on weight, less productive in the gym, poor sleep, sad, depressed. All of these things can be factors, and that's if these things apply to you, this is where you need to see my friends at Tri-State Men's Health. They're the experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. They successfully treated many men for low T, including myself, and I've seen amazing differences. My sleep patterns, my energy. Dad, you want to play hoops? Yeah, let's do it. I'm in. Those were some things that had to be a little bit forced before that. So if this is something that applies to you, you go to tristatemen'shealth.com, take that low T quiz on the website. It's a simple 10-question quiz, yes or no. It takes 2 minutes. Then schedule a consult with Tri-State Men's Health. They're going to do your lab work, have your results in a half hour. Licensed medical provider going to review those results with you and discuss your options. You'll make the decision together with the medical team. The cost of the appointment is $99. T and PSA test is included. If you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, that visit is going to be free. Give them a call, 800-900-9654. Visit tristatemen'shealth.com today for more. 2 quick exits. Quick exit right off of 270 in Hilliard and their Medical Mile in Westerville on the 2 locations here in town. So much of my attention was on what happened up in Cleveland yesterday in terms of Jim Donovan and the tributes and the miraculous victory and the incredible things that happened in that game that defied, quite honestly, logic. That I had Bengals on Red Zone, and I was watching them from afar. That was the one of the things I got wrong this week in the NFL, that one I got most wrong. That they got housed by Philly at home. Those stands were empty in the fourth. This Bengals team is winless at home. It's possible, guys, that they dug themselves too big of a hole to dig themselves out of now.
The thing is, I had a lot of hope going into this game because I thought they maybe figured it out. You know, I thought that they hit their turning point. I thought they was on a 2-game winning streak, maybe 3, maybe. And I thought, all right, against the Browns, it wasn't great, but, you know, they still got it going. Joe Burrow's always got it going, but that defense – has always been the Achilles heel. I thought that this would be the test. Obviously, the Eagles, when you look at their roster offensively, they got a lot of things that you got to worry about. And coming off of the dominant performance that Saquon had against the Giants last week, I knew he'd be fired up, so I wanted to see how they would respond. Well, they
did.
The Eagles look like they might be the ones that figure something out because they was clicking on all cylinders there. Jalen Hurts actually looked really good. Saquon Barkley continues to go on the tear, and the touchdown to Devontae Smith, I'm concerned. They might have, and I get why they did it. Ownership really allowed a lot of those defensive guys, they let a lot of defensive players go because you got to pay Joe and you want to pay Jamar, and I get that. They kept the one guy that you thought, all right, we got to have this guy, and that's Trey Hendrickson. You got to have him. The rest of them they thought was expendable, and it's coming back to bite them. They thought
Geno Stone would be what Jesse Bates was.
Yeah,
and he's not.
Yeah, he's struggling. He's really struggling, and they just don't have that guy that can make those plays right now. And you thought getting in Geno Stone, you thought he'd be Jesse Bates' replacement. You brought Vaughn back, so you thought, all right, we getting that safety captain, that leadership back there. And right now, it's just not the same. And those corners, I thought they would take the next step, especially Cam Taylor-Britt. Everybody, last year, they told me Cam Taylor-Britt, he's going to be a guy. He's going to be one of the top corners in the league. And I'm still waiting to see that. So that's what's happening right now. They haven't developed the guys, or the guys that they drafted to be replacements for the guys that once was there have not been developed properly, have not taken the next step.
I'll tell you what's sobering from a Bengals perspective. I'm going to give you guys their 3 wins. Carolina, at the Giants, and the Browns with Deshaun Watson. Those are their 3 wins.
Well, none of them is like quality wins.
That's it, exactly. So whereas when talent equates, they ain't getting it done. And if Joe doesn't score 35, if the offense doesn't score 35, they don't have a sniffing chance at it. They got beat by the Patriots in week 1, Chiefs by a point, Commies by 5. This is what I'm talking about. You dig that hole. You needed to win some of those games. Now their margin for error is largely gone. And so it is going to be tough sledding.
Who they got this upcoming week?
Well, Talon won't equate. They got the Raiders. So they get the Raiders at home. Okay. So obviously that's must-win stuff there. But then the next 2 are at Ravens, at Chargers, Steelers at home, at Cowboys. So there's a stretch where you need to start making a little bit of hay on that side of it. One other thing that, and we'll do heavy NFL tomorrow on the program, but one other thing that I wanted to get to was Jameis Winston.
Famous Jameis.
Jameis Winston will throw the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes he might throw it to you, and that can be infuriating, and it has been at times in his career. But he will throw the ball down the field. What they did offensively reminded me so much of what Flacco did for them last year.
That's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what it was. It was all of a sudden an offense that everything opened up. All of a sudden, receivers who had been anonymous, talking about certainly Elijah Moore, talking about Cedric Tillman, anonymous receivers, 8 for 85 for Elijah Moore, 7 for 99 for Ced Tillman, 5 for 79 for Jerry Jeudy. Like that receiving core, all of a sudden, there were plays to be made down the field.
It literally was the same thing last year. It was. We started off the season with Deshaun, and none of the receivers. I think he threw for his best game, 250 or something like that against the Titans or something like that. And we was like, the receivers were like, the receiver core, they just not showing up. There's not the guys that we thought. Elijah Moore isn't who we thought. All of these things. And then Joe Flacco comes in, and boom, David Njoku starts having a career year. Amari Cooper has the most yards in a game. Didn't he break the record? I think
he did. He broke the their franchise record.
The franchise record. You see Elijah Moore start having some success. Guys started to come alive. And it's unfortunate that it took this same experiment to happen 2 times in a row for you to get the exact same results. Now, don't get me wrong. It's just one game. It's a lot of things you can take from it. The fact that The Ravens were down their 2 starting corners. That's a big thing. The Ravens also are ranked 32nd in pass defense. That's a thing. So you could add all of those things in there, but that offense looked better. Those receivers looked like they were willing to make plays. Jameis had that ball out of his hands, and receivers weren't even out of their breaks yet, and he knew where to put the ball at. So when they came out their breaks, the ball was already right there. Like, that's stuff that we hadn't seen from Deshaun when he was in there. So that offense, it got going. Now, it will be tested again. Obviously, we got to see it again for multiple times, but to see it for once this season, everybody walked away with the same thought. Why did you not do this earlier? It's ultimately.
Well, you've been in those rooms. You've been in those rooms.
I mean,
something like that happens. How do you look around and go, what are we doing? What happened here?
Well, the good news is it brought a lot of hope because
I think that's it.
You look up and you're like, wait a minute. We always knew we could play like this, but now that we finally did it on Sundays, the season's not done. Like, no. we've done some incredible things before. Like, we can do this. And it brings
I think it allows
hope.
for it to be fun, too. Not just hope, but fun. It allows for, this is fun to watch again, right? Like, even if you can't chase down a playoffs at 2-6, it's going to be uphill, obviously. Mm-hmm. But you allow for a little bit of fun to be had in the game again. And I do think that is something that was sorely missing. 2 major things. JOK goes off with the neck, and Denzel. 6 concussion.
And that's usually the one, whereas when you get to 6, that's when it's like, we ain't, because like I said, I know Josh Perry has 6. I knew Armani Reeves has 6, and both of them said that was it. They wouldn't let him play no more.
Yeah. So that's really scary stuff there. And Stefanski will be available today, and there will be a lot. We'll do the NFL heavy tomorrow on the program, but very, very incredible, emotional day up in Cleveland, a bizarre day in Cincinnati because I really thought they'd answer the bell. Also should give a shout out to Noah Brown. What are you supposed to do? Everybody says knock it down, but right?
You catch it. That's why in the Alabama game I caught it, because we was always taught, you see this ball ricochet and bounce around. They said forget all that. Tyvis, you the tallest, jump, catch the thing and just end it. Now you're supposed to take a knee, but that's for people that want to be good. I want to be great.
Jackets back at work tonight. Edmonton is on the docket. A little bit of Shelley time coming your way next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. The Daily Coach Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by Credit Union of Ohio and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is the Ryan Day Show, brought to you statewide by Safelite Auto Glass. If you win that game by 2 or 3 touchdowns, no one would remember. 104,830 will remember.
Yeah, well, I think, the idea coming off of the last week, with the Oregon game was, doesn't matter what the score is, go out and win the game. And I thought the defense did that.
They did indeed. Frustration turns to jubilation. Do you still love college football?
Well, yeah, I love college football. I love our team. Love's probably not the word I'm using right now, but I do like the fact that our team had to step up and win the game in the fourth quarter. We're down by 3 beginning of the fourth quarter. We had to come down, put a drive together to score, and then had to get 2 stops on defense. We did that, and that was the difference in the game.
We'll have a final comment right after this.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway, and you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review,
There is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Coach, I thought I heard you talk about running the football. You got to run it at Penn State.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. Yeah, we did not run the ball at all here in this game, and that was the difference. And didn't convert on third down, and when you don't do that, you put the defense in a tough spot. So we got to get that figured out fast.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at lifelock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
The gloves. Shelley time.
Efforting Joe, Jackets losers over the weekend, 4-3 down in Nashville. Back home tonight against Edmonton. Last time we saw them at home, they were beating the previous buzzsaw that was the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-2. This will be a similar buzzsaw tonight in terms of overall talent. It is the Edmonton Oilers in town, and Connor McDavid, the best player on the planet. For some perspective, a little bit of Shelley time on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Let's first do a MASH unit injury report. And probably, while there's been a ton of them, we got illnesses, and we got flu and all these other things, Joe, we did get the news last week that while Kent Johnson will be down for a while, no surgery, and that has to be a sigh of relief at the very least.
Yeah, you would think so, right? I mean, this kid's coming off shoulder surgery. You see him fall down. He immediately knew he was in a bad spot. And then, you think the worst, right? When he leaves the ice and he was playing so well. But no, that's good news. I mean, that's just think about Kent Johnson, his evolution, the new coach, how he trained in the offseason. So hopefully that speeds things up for him getting back. Yeah, I mean, that's what you want, right? You want guys to be ahead of schedule like Voronkov is here, it seems like.
Yeah, that's it. You want young guys to develop, and you want it. That's the payoff for all of the young talent is for the fans and the organization to see those guys develop. Last time we talked, it was heading into the Leafs game, and Toronto was a buzzsaw, and 6-2 put it in the victory column. You go down to Nashville on Saturday and lose 4-3, so it's a 1 up, 1 down. Dean Evison, consistent play. How do you accomplish that in terms of on a night in, night out basis with a young team and trying to kind of figure it out on the fly? And is that something that he's searching for?
That's something I think he's pleasantly surprised with this group. You know, he demands the effort. The Wild game at home wasn't great. I think they were tired. They would never say it, but I think it was an emotional week with opening night, the 2 opening nights.
Yeah.
The travel coming back. There was just a lot into that. So, you know, you're not going to talk about it, but they looked flat. The passes weren't great. The energy was low. They were late getting the pucks. But, I think we already have a baseline with this team. And when they're on, they look like the way they played against Toronto. Toronto had no answer. I know they were on the second of a back-to-back. But when you believe in the system you're playing as a player, it's automatic. You know, and it means, like, if Zach Werenski's having an off night, the team will be okay because – you know, you understand where you have to be at certain times. And I say Zach Werenski because he has been controlling the play every second he's been on the ice. So he's got his system. He has his non-negotiables, which means, like, if you think you're going to go on kind of on your own, go rogue for a few minutes out there or a few seconds in a shift, it's not going to happen in some areas of the game. So their defensive zone is much cleaner. It's much simpler for them to play. And that's why you're noticing the defensemen up in the play a lot without hesitation. And they're checking moving forward. And it's an evolution throughout the National Hockey League where, you know, the defensemen used to be strictly back up, take the middle of the ice, kind of wait for the play to get to them. The Blue Jackets team now, they are anticipating plays and really clogging it up. So I think he's pleasantly surprised here with what he's got out of his team so far.
Jody, you know, this team has been really depleted by some of the injuries on the players during the season. Which players have been stepping up, or who has impressed you with the opportunity to get on the ice?
Yeah, there's been a couple guys. You know, Putia is a guy we haven't talked about a lot, but he made the team out of camp because he got better and better and better. He's a penalty killer. He's a young guy, but he's very intelligent. And, you know, coaches appreciate players that get out there and just kind of do the right thing. He got his first shot on net in Game 7, okay? So he went 6 games without a shot on net. He got a first shot on net last game, but, you know, that's something that'll come for him. He had 3 last game, but the way he's always on the right side of the puck, the way he picks up a pass, the way he can keep plays alive. If I'm out there with you two guys and I give you the puck and all of a sudden we're back checking, it's like, okay, I'll give it to you next time too, and if it happens again, I don't really want to, you know, you're unreliable. You have to be able to take what I give you, and I think that's a real good thing with Putia. He hasn't been a star, but he's been great. I like Jake Christensen, the way he's fit in as a defenseman quietly, a guy who's kind of evolve in his career. Monahan, the number 1 center, has been a real pleasant surprise to me. I've heard a lot of great things about him, but the way he's fit in, the way he's handled everything he's had to deal with, the way he competes, how smart he is on the ice, I think that's a real key pickup too for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, that was one with Sean where it was, I thought, you know, you get a guy to play with Johnny and everyone will be, I didn't know that he was this type of player, Joe, and he's been absolutely exceptional to start the season. Merzlikins in net tonight, huh? Tarasov started the previous 4, now back to Elvis.
Well, I got to confess to you, Bo. I read that on Twitter because I'm in Winnipeg covering the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Winnipeg Jets for Amazon Monday Night Prime.
That's right.
And my fill-in tonight is Hall of Famer John Davidson is coming back in the booth with Steve Mears. If you want to watch the way my job is supposed to be done, you watch tonight on FanDuel Sports Network with John Davidson. He's going to hop in the booth. He's the best. He's in the Hall of Fame because of it, and he's gracious enough to hop out of the managing role and cover the team tonight. But I just thought I'd throw in there before I tell you that, yeah, Elvis is in the net. I read that on Twitter, and, you know, it's good for Elvis, good for Tarasov, who started 4. We'll see how Elvis plays. So, yeah, the JD factor tonight. It'll be worth the watch.
You know, the JD factor, that's so interesting you say that because as a kid, I I just knew him as that. I didn't know him as like goalie for the Rangers. Like I just knew him as.
That's a compliment. Yeah, he's that good.
I think that he was very much the NHL John Madden for much of American hockey fans. I mean, there's no question that's what he was. And by the way, I've gotten several people, and I've said this to you personally many times, several people about how great you are on the Amazon Primes when people are able to see that. In fact, last week, wasn't it? Weren't you doing you did Toronto, Tampa before you did us in Toronto on Tuesday? It worked out, right? So well done,
sir. I tried to get on the team flight back, the Toronto Maple Leafs flight. I asked Shanahan, and he said he wasn't able to do it, but I took the 6 a.m., made it back for our game. But thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I miss doing the Blue Jackets tonight, but hey, you're in good hands with John Davidson.
Yeah, it'll be fun one at Nationwide too with that Edmonton team coming in. Good luck on your call, and we'll get a little bit of a throwback for those of us old enough to remember JD in the booth. So good stuff, buddy. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
All right, see you guys. Thanks. Have a great day.
All right, a little bit of Shelley time from Winnipeg. Jackets and oil tonight down at Nationwide. We get your three things. Got an NFL pick to make as well. It's all coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, what's up? It's Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night, and you can't stand your CPAP machine. The good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your significant other will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. Yeah, Marysville. If you're snoring and waking up all of Marysville or wherever you live and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also check him out online, sleepbettercolumbus.com, and now sleepbettermarysville.com.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the league of gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. The Fan and High Bank Distillery have partnered to release 3 exclusive whiskey barrel picks, which you can try out with me on Tuesday, November 12th at High Bank in Grandview. Tickets benefit the Third and Goal Foundation, helping veterans and their families.
Football is all about scoring big, and so is Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. With 4 dealerships and a collision center, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle. Plus, every vehicle purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Our Carvenience service picks up your car, gives you a rental, and returns it without you lifting a finger. Score big today. Experience the difference and visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Want to know anything about the Fan's contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, before we get to the poll, we do have a Monday Night Football game to select, you and I.
Yeah, the Steelers are 6-point favorites against the New York Giants. Going into tonight, Bo, I believe I have you at 9-6. I'm at 6-9. Rough weekend.
You gotta pick it up, Reese.
I do.
Yeah, I think that is right. Yeah, I think that is. Yeah. Look, it's Monday Night Football. It's in Pittsburgh. What is the number?
6.
Oh, 6?
Steelers are 6-point favorites.
Yeah, I got Russ cooking, and I got Renegade and all of that. I think Pittsburgh wins pretty comfortably. Give me the Steelers 24-10.
Yeah, I was going to say 20-7 Pittsburgh. Like, this doesn't feel like the prettiest game in the world, but it doesn't matter because the Steelers are going to be at the top of the division if and probably when they beat the G-Men tonight.
24-17 Pittsburgh.
So same.
That'll still do it.
We all got them covering. All right, 3 things. Daily
fan poll.
Daily fan poll. Sorry,
asks which team had the most surprising performance, good or bad, from the weekend. Bengals, Browns, Buckeyes are your 3 options. 51% say the Browns had the most surprising performance, probably for the good. 40% Buckeyes, 8% for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I think that checks out.
Yeah, I think I think they were all pretty surprising. I don't know that, I thought Cleveland would cover. I thought for sure that I didn't think they'd get housed.
I thought they covered too. It was 8.5, right?
Yeah, their defense is sturdy, and I thought their defense would play well, and I knew the offense would open up with Jameis. So that checked out. Honestly, 37-17, Bengals getting housed at home. That one might be for me.
No, the Buckeyes it's just the fashion of the game. Like, at some point, I didn't think they'd do the 25, but I was with you at some point. Like, this ball's gonna get rolling, it's gonna be overwhelming, and the fact that never happened after a bye week, that's shocking.
That's a thing for sure. All right, time for 3 things. Hit it.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
This is a big picture one, and it's a little get off my lawn, and it's a little take your kids to sporting events. But I would just say, from your Uncle Bo, as a general rule of thumb, drunk in public is never a good look. Have a pop, enjoy yourself.
Town.
It's not college kids who are doing it, buddy. They're not still enrolled. I wasn't in South Stands. Just have a pop or 2, not 16. Just don't be drunk in public. Handle yourself. Grow up a little bit.
Actually, I enjoy, but they're loose. They're loose. Anyways, so
wait till you take your girls and see how loose and how much you like.
You're right about that. So number 1 for me, I always mention that my anniversary is on Wednesday, and I had like a spa. I scheduled my wife to get a facial because she's like really big on that stuff.
Yeah.
And she tells me today that she has to reschedule it for like next week. And I'm like, well, that's not, like that kind of ruins the day. So now I got to figure out something I got to do to offset that. I got to get something going for her on Wednesday. So, yeah, there you go.
Go see my folks at Diamond Cellar. They'll take care of you.
Yeah, I might have to.
Just get that. They'll take care of you.
Like we said before the segment, I was a putrid 6-9, or I am a putrid 6-9, picking scores against the house going into tonight's Monday Night Football thing. So I didn't have a great many things. Also, I think on Thursday I had said if Major League Baseball gets like 7-8 million for Game 1 of the World Series, they'd be thrilled. How about 15.2 million viewers for Game 1 on Fox? That's up 62% over last year's D-backs Rangers Game 2, and it's the most since 2017 when the Astros were playing the Dodgers.
Nobody was watching the Rangers. And
it was thrilling.
It checked every box Game 1 did.
It was awesome. And for me, this will be my number 2 as a kid who grew up a Dodgers fan. For whoever did it quickly with Major League Baseball that linked up the Kirk Gibson hit off Eckersley in '88 to Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam in Game 1, and then had all of those things linked up. In the season of the impossible, the improbable has happened. I mean, I was back, baby. I can't wait. Up 2-0, and we got a Game 3 tonight.
She is gone. Number 2 for me, it's a big moment in Cleveland sports history today because the Cavaliers are going to the Garden. And obviously we haven't had a ton of success there, so I will be locked in because I need them to. I know it's the regular season. I know it's only, Game 3, 4, maybe? Whatever.
Game 4, baby.
And we undefeated, too.
Man, there's a lot on television tonight.
So
that's a lot of sports.
I got to see it. I got to see how we respond to being in the Garden.
That was actually my second thing that I will piggyback on because a huge week for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So tonight in the Garden, Wednesday hosting the James family, LeBron and Bronny, unless he goes to the G League before then. Then Friday it's Orlando, and then Saturday, Tyvis, they're going to play your favorite team in the Milwaukee Bucks.
They're not doing well.
I think this Cavaliers team is for real though.
Don't they play the Bucks Monday too? I think it's back-to-back against the Bucks.
Saturday then Monday.
Saturday then Monday.
The Bucks ain't been looking too hot right now.
Is Chris Middleton playing?
No.
Oh.
No.
Number 3 for me, had a surreal experience before the game on Saturday with the kids. So in 2000, and it was actually the 2013 season, I took NBC, who at the time was 2, to his first Buckeye game, and I knew Zeke pretty well at that time because I was doing all the coaching shows, and Zeke came over and we did this thing where I told Pate, I said, if you can learn to go in the big boy potty, I'll get you a Ezekiel Elliott jersey. And he did, and it ended up going viral on SportsCenter and all of these things. And Terry Gillum took this incredible picture of me and Pate, and who's NBC, and Zeke. Saturday, see Terry on the sidelines, embrace him. Unbelievably great guy. He's with Learfield IMG now. And he took a picture of me and the whole family. And you just think about 11 years of connective tissue. Pretty awesome. Great moment.
Wow. I tell you what, I got some news this weekend from the Big Ten. Usually we got our whole schedule. They send the whole schedule of where we're going to go for each Saturday.
Yeah.
And then I get some news that they are thinking about switching things around and it's Indiana's fault. Because we had Ohio State versus Indiana, but Indiana decided to be really good this year, so they'll lose that game. So they're trying to find a way to cover Ohio State because that was our Ohio State game. And they want to do Ohio State versus Northwestern at Wrigley Field. But then, the last week, we were supposed to be off, but now they want to go to USC, and it's really bothering me because people make plans and they kind of
you got plans,
they're kind of messing it up. But I'm gonna go where the money is all the time. So there you go.
I'm also gonna take this time to let you know that we should stop playing football games at baseball stadiums in protest for the game at Wrigley Field. Rothman and Ice are up next. Jim Lachey is gonna join at 12:33. I'm really interested to hear what he has to say about Ohio State's struggles on both lines of scrimmage.
He won't miss words, I'm sure of that. That's coming up next. Enjoy it, kids. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
News, opinions, and insight all before breakfast. Rise and shine with Morning Juice.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. The Buckeyes are a 4-point road favorite at Penn State this weekend, minus 175 on the money line, and Penn State is plus 150 to win. Total for the game is 47.5. Ohio State has the second best odds to win the national championship at plus 425. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Camry Elite for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. We're at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at lifelock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Good morning, Doctor. Doctor? Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats.